It feels really weird saying happy Sunday because I'm so used to saying happy Friday, but we've moved the live streams to Sunday as per community request. I just wanted to listen to feedback because a lot of people weren't able to make Friday since they were at work or whatever the case may be. So now we're going to be doing every other Sunday at 4 p.m. and hopefully everyone can still come and hopefully we have some newcomers. So for those of you that are new, hello, I'm Amanda. I do these streams every other Sunday or was every other Sunday, every other week, just to give people a place to talk about their mental health, to share their wins, their struggles, just to feel heard and feel seen. I just want everyone to know that I hear you and I see you and I love you. Hello, Banner Scotland. Hi, Davy. Thank you for everything you do from Scotland. Well, thank you. Look, we have 2 Scotlands in here already. Tyler, hello. I do want to say before we get started that anything I say is just based on my experiences and the experiences of others that I've interacted with or coaching clients I've had and stuff. I am not a professional yet. I have my associates in psychology, but I am not a mental health professional just yet. So if you are having a mental health crisis, please make sure that you're reaching out and getting the support that you need. I always put the suicide hotlines by country, the link for that in my video descriptions. But we are here to listen, we're here to talk and help, and hopefully be able to lift your spirits up a little day. So we're going to share some good news and some wins, and of course, some of our struggles. I don't know how I have any energy whatsoever right now. I've been really struggling with insomnia again, which I will get into here in a minute. But I'm here and I'm actually feeling pretty good. I think it's because I was just taking some time and doing an art project, which I'll show you guys over in the community. But I think that that's why I have a little bit more energy right now is I've been kind of trying to take some time to do things that I enjoy. We are, 8 Saw movies in over the past couple weeks. I'm really leaning into the Halloween season this year. I've really struggled to get into that. And it's my favorite season, and I had some things happen that tried to bring it down, but I'm really wanting to. If you're wanting to make sure that I see a message, it can be kind of crazy in here. So using that super chat or super sticker function, all of the pledges are now going to my mental health outreach. I want to say thank you so much for everyone that had pledged during the time that those were going to help me. I am not perfect. I'm not in a perfect place yet, but I have been doing better, and I'm so appreciative to everyone who made pledges. If you did still want to pledge personally to me, you can do so through my PayPal or Venmo, which is also linked below, or just let me know in the super chat or super sticker message that that's what you wanted to go toward. But I really want to get back into doing that community outreach because it makes me feel really good to be able to make a difference and to tell you guys about the difference that you're making so we can see that we're all connected and each one of us matter. The little things that we do and the little things that we say, those things matter and those things ripple out. So I'm very excited to get back into that. I think that that will help give me some energy and of course boost yours as well. Osoe, I hope I'm saying that right. Oso, I have no idea, but hello anyway. Tyler, let's see, Davey says, honestly, Amanda, you've helped me so much. I hope I can help others the way you helped me. Big question, how are you coping? I'm going to talk a little bit more about where I'm at with my mental health here briefly. I'm coping. I'm here. I'm doing okay. I'm just having some struggles and got to figure out how to get through them. Banner Edder says, do Aaron, I'm from England but live here now. Oh, Aaron's saying he wants to go to Scotland. Well, take me. Tyler says, Davey, Amanda saved me the first week I joined. When I'm glad that I could help you through that. I know panic attacks can be. I've been having some kind of dissociation episodes the past few weeks, a couple months now, and it's been kind of jarring because I hadn't had things like that in a long time. And falling back to that, of course, even I get into that mindset of, oh my God, here I am again. And I've really been battling that mental block, that limiting belief. So what are you going to dress as? I actually haven't decided. Usually I'm pretty big on deciding in advance, but I've been more about decorating and just watching kind of scary movies and stuff like that. We are going to go see Saw X on Tuesday, so I'm kind of leaning in that way right now. I don't know what I'm going to be. Davey says, yeah, she is. I told her my story on Insta. I haven't told anyone else. Get into Halloween and scare our demons away. Rawr. Are you scared yet, demons? I came here, Matthew says, I came here from rehearsal of my cover of Black Hole Sun in tribute to my idol, Chris Cornell. Love it. Rob says, hope you're okay, Amanda. I was going to kill myself over the weekend, but watching your YouTube channel helps pull me out of the feeling. So thank you. Well, thank you. And I'm glad that you're still here. I'm grateful that I was able to be there in that moment and be your Chris or your Chester that brought you down from that. And know that we're here anytime that you're having those thoughts and feelings. You can send me an email. Of course, the hotlines are always there. I always keep these chats here so people have something to look forward to, so they know they'll be able to talk to someone at some point. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad that you're still here. And I'm very humbled to be a part of that reason. Slow Country says, good evening. I just wanted to say Godspeed and God bless. David says, you all matter, even just providing an ear to listen. You matter too, my love. Davey says, you can come over anytime, Amanda. I would love to have a vacation right now. Snooky says, you're doing great work. Hold fast to your own truth as your lamp. Simplify. Thank you very much. I love it, as your lamp, but like a genie lamp, so I can make my own wishes too. Oh, JD, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, it has been a while. I'm glad that you're here and able to catch a stream again. Donald says, for whatever reason, it's choppy. I love what you do. Is it choppy for anyone else, or is it just Donald? If it's choppy, I can get off and back on or something. David says, Amanda always provides a sympathetic ear and genuine support and love. Always valued, always loved. I love it. Oh my gosh, I don't have my necklace on. I'm sorry. I don't have my no half measures, always love necklace on that David had gotten me. It got tangled, and because Aaron broke his wrist and because I have nails on, it's very hard to untangle. So I'm going to have to get a fork or something and get in there. Dude Stuff says, hello, Amanda. I recently joined the furry fandom and luckily haven't had much hate yet other than my mom and brother not liking it and some idiots at school calling me a zoophile. You know, I'm not completely educated about the community, but I am a big proponent of doing what you, whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else. So I hope that brings you happiness, and I hope that they can come to accept that. Remember, you are the one who taught it's okay not to be okay. Yes, it is okay. It's encouraged, to feel your feelings and your emotions and to go through those things. And it is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stew in that. It's not okay to let that perpetuate day after day after day. It's okay to be in that place of not being okay, so long as you're putting deposits in your happiness bank, you're putting drops in your bucket so that you're staying at least in stasis when you're struggling, but ideally eventually moving out of that to a state of being okay. So it is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to sit and ruminate forever in that state. Oh, I'm glad that, okay, Aaron said he had to refresh. It was okay. David said it was at first. Matthew's finding it choppy. Okay, so if it's a little choppy for you, I'm really sorry. Just refresh and hopefully that will help. Oh, Banner, thank you. This is everyone you matter. Love, Jam, Cassia, and Tansy. I forgot to have a piece of paper in here, so I'm just going to write the pledges over here so I can keep track of them. The goal is 250, and we already have some individuals who are going to be receiving some of these pledges from an elderly person that one of the community members have told me about, to actually an elderly person here in my community as well that's needing some support and maybe just some pick-me-ups, some cupcakes or something. I can make cupcakes. I'm not exactly sure what they need yet, but I know that those two people are on my radar, and there's a couple of people in the community that are needing some support. So hopefully I will be able, that have reached out to me via email, that hopefully I will be able to help, because it was issues. The most common thing I hear is like supplements and stuff being too expensive and them needing certain supplements. And I actually completely understand that, because there are certain things that I need, like magnesium. Magnesium was helping for a while with sleep. Now it's just, I know it's stress induced, and now I've kind of gotten in this cycle and I'm needing to break that. But let me go through this just a bit more, and then I will touch on that. Headset Nation says, schizoaffective disorder guy supporting the channel and currently enjoying company. I've still got my mind on top of the world, still messed up in the head sexually. Is gay thoughts due to sickness? No, absolutely they are not. You are loved. You are not sick. I know that there are communities that perpetuate that, but there are animals in nature like bottlenose dolphins who also have homosexual desires and urges and stuff, and it's natural, it's normal, and we very much support that here in the community. So you are welcome here, and you are loved, and you are not sick. Donald says, there's no way I'd have found this without you having a reaction to suicidal tendencies. I love the speaking to not be okay parts. David says to Josh, Josh had said that he has It's Okay Not to Be Okay tattooed on his forearm. And David says, that's a great sentiment. Sometimes we expect it to all be all or nothing. Most days are various shades of gray, and that's okay. I like how you said various and not 50. Matthew said, just did it worse. I don't know if you saw my first message or not. I'm merely wondering. I thought I read it, but if I didn't, I'm sorry. You can post it here again, and I'll try to get it. Yeah, I was getting messages, so hopefully it's going through. I'm really sorry if the video is a little glitchy. Hopefully it's working for most of you guys now. Tim's right. Love isn't wrong so long as you're an adult who cares who you love. Yeah, as long as it's two consenting adults, I really don't care like who is with who. So I have really been struggling because all of the financial stress and stuff that I was going through, or that I'm still going through, it's not past tense, that I'm going through is really creating immense stress. There's medical things that are going on that are creating immense stress that are based on the monetary stress. The monetary stress is causing insomnia, which is causing physical ailments. And at this point, I've tried all the sleep hygiene. I have great sleep hygiene, and I got some sleep tea and things like that. I've posted here on the channel before about things that have worked for me for breaking previous cycles of insomnia, and those were really effective at the time, but now those things that worked before aren't working. So clearly something else is at play. So I got this app. I downloaded an app and got the free version of it for like a week. There's a paid version of it, but right now, again, I'm having the stress because of finances. I can't really afford to pay for the app, but I did do the free version because it has a free 7-day trial. And I've been getting a lot of information from a sleep coach that is kind of putting me on a sleep schedule and doing sleep compression and stuff like that. So hopefully, as miserable as it is, that will work in the long run, because sometimes we have to do the uncomfortable things in the moment to heal and get to the other side later on. So sleep compression is where you basically have to go to bed later so that you'll spend less time awake in bed. And whenever you wake up in the middle of the night, you have to get up. And I'm really, really struggling with that. That's the thing that's really getting to me. I've been sticking to the sleep schedule because one of the things is you have to go to bed and get up at the same time. And now they've pushed the bedtime later. So it's okay, you have to go to bed later. So you have a shorter period of time that you're going to be in bed, because it resets your system. And this is backed by a lot of professionals, a lot of psychologists. This is what sleep experts do and what sleep centers and stuff will have you do. So hopefully this works. I'm just now starting it this week, and I have been so exhausted. It's been really hard for me to find the energy to really create a lot. It really took a lot for me to find the energy to get on here. So I'm just really trying to do the things that like I said, are filling my bucket right now. So at least I'm not draining myself more mentally just because I'm being drained physically. And don't get me wrong, I've been irritable and I've been emotional, but even in those states when things aren't ideal or things are just absolute hell, like insomnia can wreck you, but we still have to be making deposits. You can't just say, well, right now I'm just going to sit down and fall apart. I mean, you can fall apart, don't get me wrong, but you can't, again, as we were saying earlier, sit and stew in that. Even when things are at rock bottom, you have to be making deposits. So even if you've lost someone, even if you're not sleeping, even if you're overwhelmed, even if you just got out of a relationship, whatever the case is, you still have to find ways to make those at least little deposits. So like I said, I'm watching the Saw series. That's bringing me a lot of joy, and it's been a big conversation piece, something to talk about. So please, no spoilers on the new one. I haven't seen it yet. But doing that, I know that that's kind of weird for some people, but it's helping with the irritability. It's helping me channel that. So it's kind of giving my shadow a place to play so she doesn't kick up as much. So it's been really effective in that. And like I said, it's been something to talk about. So it's been pretty awesome. That's been helping. And just, I think I said before that I'm developing a new morning routine and trying to perfect my evening routine. I'll post a vlog about that soon. But just trying to get things in order, just trying to not go crazy. So I appreciate everyone's patience while I kind of get things settled and everything, or try to figure things out. I appreciate everyone's support while I try to do that. Spencer, it's totally okay that you're late. David says, I think her insomnia's instinct caused her emotions are so high and charged now she can't shut off. The only cure is concerts. Somebody needs to tell NSYNC that I'm just going to die if they don't do a concert. I'm just going to freak out and I'm going to die, okay? Like, just drop dead because I need it. Hello, Top Brass 88. Aaron says, insomnia is no joke. It affects everything you do. It really does, because it wrecks your energy. So everything that you want to do during the day or get done is compromised. And I've just been fighting back against it in the sense that I've been trying to purge and organize and clean and do things like that, just to kind of wear myself out, even more out during the day, so that when I get to bed, I'm more not fatigued, but actually sleepy. So there's a difference between being fatigued and being sleepy. So I'm really wanting to be sleepy by the time I get to bed. So we've been exercising. Aaron and I are trying to stick to running at least every couple of days or every few days. We're trying to stick to that. So I am attacking this from every angle right now. I'll keep you guys updated, but man, I feel like I'm just losing my mind. And David's not completely wrong, because when that NSYNC song dropped on Friday, I was laying there in bed. It was like Christmas morning. I'm going, I need to try and lay here. I need to try and rest, which you're not supposed to do, by the way. When you wake up, you need to get up. But I'm sitting there going, okay, just try and rest for a bit. Just try to rest for a bit. And then I just can't. And it's 5 a.m. and I just fly out of bed and going, I need it right now. I've been waiting too long. And the only reason I wasn't up at midnight is because I didn't know what time they were going to release it, if they were actually going to release it at midnight. But yeah, flew out of bed at 5 a.m, came in here and filmed for you guys with no makeup and nothing, and ended up getting featured on NSYNC's Instagram reel, which was touching, and it was very flattering, and I was very proud of that. But at the same time, going, really? At least one of them probably just saw me just rolled out of bed, no makeup. My face, I don't know if you guys noticed. I think David said he noticed that my face was so flushed. I'm going, oh my God, this is how they saw me. Ugh. Yikes. David says, Saw movies bring joy. I must have watched the wrong one. I'm weird. All right, I'm just weird. Tim, I do not mean the Backstreet Boys. I mean NSYNC. And if you're going to root for the wrong team, you can just leave. I'm just kidding. Please don't. I love you. I respect your wrong opinion if you like the Backstreet Boys better. I'm just kidding. I really do like the Backstreet Boys, just not as much as NSYNC. David says they see all the women flushed and excited. They're used to it. I've never, so let's see. I haven't been in a position to see anyone really lose it over any of NSYNC, because when I met them at cons, and I definitely saw girls get excited and stuff, but I met them at different events or cons. Or for Lance, he was hosting the Meredith Vieira show, and I had a friend up in New York that kind of helped me out with that. And I didn't see anyone really lose it. I saw a couple girls cry, and I saw a couple girls who would get very excited, but the funniest one to me was actually AJ with Backstreet Boys. Aaron was with me. We were meeting Carrie Ells from Princess Bride or Saw, whoever, whichever way you want to go with that. But we were standing in line to meet him, and his line was right next to AJ McLean for the Backstreet Boys. And this girl, so I don't know how many of you, most of you have probably been to a Comic-Con of some sort. So there's a fairly long space between the table and where the line starts. And his line wasn't long or anything, so he didn't have the zigzag back and forth through the entire area. But so, I mean, it was probably, what, Aaron, 50 feet or so between the table, the beginning of the celebrities area where you go in and meet them, and the area that's corralling it off. And this girl gets to the edge of the crowd off area and she sees AJ and she just starts screaming. And I don't mean like, oh my God, oh my God. I mean shrieking. And she'd take 2 steps and then she'd start screaming. I'm going, I know that I fangirled on the inside when I met each of NSYNC, but man, I am glad I kept my dignity. Man, I'm glad that I kept my cool enough when I met them. But now I'm sitting there going, I know at least JC watched my video, damn it, because he's been watching a lot of. I know I have other NSYNC friends who are posting content and stuff, and they're saying, "Oh my God, JC saw my TikTok or JC saw my Instagram story or whatever." So, because you can see who watched your stuff, and they're very proud of that. So I'm going, "Oh man, he is going around watching stuff." So. JC Shazay has probably seen my video. But we are about 20 minutes in, so I'm going to share the good news story. Like I said, the goal is 250 in pledges so we can get back to the community outreach. I really did miss it, even though I appreciated the support. Like I said, I really did miss it. But I think you guys are going to love this. It's how a Colorado nonprofit is breaking the cycle of veteran homelessness and suicide. It started with just one loan from a CDFI for a veteran entrepreneur. More than 95% of veterans who are entrepreneurs need initial startup capital to start their businesses. More than half of them need less than $25,000 to do it. Andrew Canales was in that exact position when he began his nonprofit. I thought once we became a 501c3 nonprofit, people would just start pouring money into my idea, Canales said, but that wasn't the case. It ended up being harder than any business I've ever tried to start before that. It's so hard to get support for different causes and projects and stuff. People think it's so easy. Oh, just go create a GoFundMe or CrowdSurf and you'll get all the funding you need. You don't. It's very difficult. Canales eventually received an $11,400 seed loan from CDFI DreamSpring to launch his Colorado-based nonprofit Houses for Warriors, which supports homeless and at-risk veterans as they assimilate back into civilian life. The organization provides transitional housing and connects veterans with veteran service officers, as well as housing vouchers and mental health resources. Canales is no stranger to bootstrapping. One of our first projects was renovating a house that was going to be condemned, he says. We had 50 volunteers, and in 5 weeks, we remodeled this man's entire house. I invested roughly $10,000 of my own money into it. Hey, you need to go tell the people over on all those home renovation shows that it doesn't cost $190,000, $280,000 to renovate an entire house. Okay, rant over. DreamSpring issued his loan in January of 2020, right as things were shutting down from the pandemic. That money helped Canales launch a website to bring in a monthly donor base as well as online resources for veterans. This allowed him to connect with the already isolated demographic of homeless veterans who are becoming even more isolated due to the pandemic. That loan from DreamSpring really kicked everything off, Canales said. That's how we build our credibility. That's how we get people to get behind us when we wanted to open the Warrior House, a holistic program that offers transitional housing, work therapy, and personal development sessions to help homeless veterans become more self-sufficient. It also helps veterans apply for disability and VA assistance. One study on addressing veteran homelessness to prevent suicides found that 14 of the 20 veterans who die by suicide each day are not engaged in VA care. Well, I hope they're addressing the fact that sometimes it's very difficult to get the VA to do what they're supposed to do. That's an issue we had with Scotty, the homeless veteran I helped and who I now have his pup because he passed away in May. Only a little over 1/4 of the veteran population has ever used VA care. I hope they help fix the system, though. The study also notes that major risk factors for veteran suicides are also major risk factors for their homelessness as well, including substance abuse, mental illness, financial distress, and a lack of social support. By connecting veterans to services they're already entitled to, House for Warriors helps mitigate these risk factors. That makes me very happy. I know there's a lot of vets here on the computer community that are veterans, and many of which were struggling. I know Nick is amidst them. I don't know if Rick James is in here, but Rick James as well. And Nick, thank you very much. You're right. 22 a day is criminal. We should not be still facing that many. And I think anything that we can do, for those of you that don't know, 22 a day is the number of veterans who lose their life to suicide. And anything that we can do to combat that, to give them hope, to give them support, to get them connected to the resources they need, because the VA is, it can be a train wreck, but it's also really hard to navigate, just like any other resource system. It's very hard to navigate when you're already struggling, when you're already in a bad place. It shouldn't be that hard to get the support that you deserve and whatnot. But sometimes it can be. It very much can be. And I tend to refer to organizations as I can on here when people reach out to me. I try to respond with organizations that are going to be the least haggling when it comes to getting help, because a lot of them, my God, you have to have like a letter of recommendation from your third grade teacher to get food assistance. It's insane. Or financial assistance, rent assistance, whatever the case is. And sometimes it's very hard to get the necessary documents. So I'm always happy to see more and more people helping and creating these organizations and stuff. Anything we can do. Oh, Spencer says Justin Timberlake. Yes, that is my future husband. And I hear him and Beal are in couples counseling right now. So yeah, Timberlake's my second husband. Thomas is right. Stop the overprescription of pharmaceuticals. Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. And I like how you said overprescription. It's not like there's anything wrong with pharmaceuticals or the psychopharmacology or things like that. But when that's the first line of defense and we're not considering other things, or we're not engaging in other things to help us, then it can become very problematic. David says, sadly, I think far too many vets around the world are lost and abandoned. Governments start wars, but the average man, woman is the one who fights and dies. Yep. And that's why, I mean, I don't have anything as grandiose as an organization that's building houses for them and paying their rent and renovating for them and things like that. But I do hope that all the veterans here feel that we're supporting them and that we care about them, because we do. And I just want, I want everyone, but I do have a soft spot for veterans because my dad was a Vietnam veteran. I do have a soft spot, and I just want them to know that there is another side. That's why I love Rick James coming in here, because when he came to the community, Rick James is military. And when he came to the community, he was having frequent nightmares, severe PTSD, and was really struggling. And he has been in a great place now, I think over a year, David, right? I think Rick's been good for at least a year now. He's overcome his demons by his own words and been able to really make progress with PTSD. So if you're listening and you're struggling, please understand that I see you and I know how difficult it is. And believe me, I've had crippling nightmares about my worst fears, about the things that hurt me the most, that just rip my heart out, make Saw look like a Disney movie. But there's always another side to that. And there are people here that care and that want to help you get through the darkness, that want to bring the water into your hell and put out as many flames as we can and sit there until you are ready to come out with us, until you're ready to progress past that, till you have made enough progress to get out of that. So please know that there is another side to that. As hopeless as your shadow's telling you it is, I promise it's not. And that doesn't just go for veterans, that goes for everyone. But I know veterans have it really bad with the nightmares and the PTSD. And I know PTSD isn't just a veteran thing. I have it too. But there's just things that I know I as a civilian can't understand. I can try to empathize as much as possible, but I'll never understand personally how grueling, how cruel, how horrible that really is. So I just want all of you to feel loved and protected here like you've loved and protected us. Oh, Spencer said my win is no nicotine for 2 weeks. I love it. I love how you guys are showing support here for veterans. I love it. Well, Spencer got a head start on the Snap Cup, but big snaps for you, Spencer. And I guess maybe that's a sign that we should dive in here and do the Snap Cup. So The Snap Cup, I'm sorry that I didn't post this sooner, that I waited till today. I've just been kind of thrown off with the insomnia and the fact that we changed the date. So I posted the ones this morning. Usually I try to post in the community a couple days ahead of time. So you guys can share your wins. So the Snap Cup is inspired by Legally Blonde 2, where we're just sharing warm fuzzies with each other. Everybody has a win and we're just sharing ours. So it's a way to shift the focus from all the things that are wrong to that more positive mindset. And that's not saying to ignore the things that are wrong, but we can't focus on them all the time. So Snap Cup time, gather ye round, friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a Snap Cup. Are they getting better, Mick? Are my snaps getting better? Yes. Oh, Edward came just in time for the Snap Cup song. Awesome. So, unfortunately, we only have a few today, but they're still going to be amazing. I just know it, and I appreciate you guys for kind of putting those in last minute. And if anybody has a win, thank you, Aaron. Aaron's still trying. Thank you. If you have a win, put it in the comments. If you can, use a super chat or super sticker to make sure I see it, and I will add it to the snaps. So Black Dog says, wouldn't say a win for today, but an ongoing one. Finished my course, top of the class, and now I'm deciding whether to keep studying while I parent or to apply for a job I'm sure I could get. Feeling great about both options. Last few months have reinvigorated me mentally. Edit. My youngest seems to be facing his fear of the dark just by hanging out with me. Asks me to turn the light off, talks all sorts of crap with me while laughing and eventually falling asleep. He's come a long way himself, but I'm still so damn happy he sees me as the bad arse that looks after him through hell and high water. I love it. So big snaps to you for finishing top of your class, but also for feeling good about both options, because oftentimes we can get stuck in that mindset. Well, if it doesn't go this way, then I'm going to be miserable. And being able to say, well, I want it to go this way, but here's how I'm going to be happy in these different scenarios. Big props for that. And I'm very proud of your youngest for combating their fear of the dark. And sometimes, facing our fears does involve other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. So big snaps to your youngest as well. All righty. Shannon Overton says, I didn't pull the trigger and got rid of my gun. I had a migraine for 7 days, finally got a hold of my doctor and asked her to take me off this new medication because I was pretty sure that's what was causing it. She said, no, it hurt so bad for so long. I just wanted to end it and almost did. Then I thought about the strength of the people in our community. I took myself off the medication. It was gone in 2 days. I'll take 9 days of agony to still be here to tell you all that I love you all. We love you too. And I'm, again, really glad that you're still here, that you made it through that. I can attest to that. First and foremost, snaps for not pulling the trigger, for getting rid of the gun, getting that out of your space, out of your thoughts. I'm glad that you made it through the migraine. And I'm really, really proud of you for taking yourself off the medication, for knowing what was best for you, because it sounded like, let me rephrase that just for anyone listening. I am not advocating getting off medications against doctor's orders, but there comes a time when you know yourself, and if that medication is causing more harm than good, then I'm sorry. I feel like there's a big difference between saying, oh, well, I'm all healed and better now because the medication's been working for me. I'm just going to stop taking it. And hey, this medication is making me have suicidal ideation and tendencies, so I'm going to stop taking it. You did the right thing. Kudos to you. Very proud of you for being able to stand up for yourself and doing that, because I've had that as well, where I've been on medications. Well, I haven't been on medications in a long time, but the reason is because they would have crippling side effects where I'd have just super intense panic attacks and dissociation. I'd think that I was dying, or I would become more suicidal and stuff. I never had a single psychopharmacological substance help me in a positive way. It always made things worse. So I had to find other methods of dealing with it. But I hope that either you find a medication that does work for you, or you can find other ways of getting through this. But either way, I'm very, very proud of you. Tim M says, sold my gun too, didn't catch the name, but so glad you did. Shannon. It was Shannon, Tim. And I'm very proud of you too. So I'm glad that you got that out of your space just to make sure you're safe. Russell Nelson says, I didn't catch the name, but thank you for saying stay. Glad you got rid of the gun. You deserve to be here. Very true. I love you guys just supporting each other here. I'm going to cry. I keep forgetting. I mean, I don't forget, but I have such a hard time thinking that little me is really making a difference on the channel, you know, that the content is really saving people. It's very hard for me to accept that me just listening to a song and sharing my feelings and my struggles is helping, but it makes sense because when we share our stories and when we talk about it and when we see that other people are struggling, that can be enough to snap us out of the darkest of the dark place. Now, it might not be enough to snap us completely out of depression or something like that, but it can definitely be the first start. And I'm just always so very humbled to be reminded that I'm that for people. So I love you guys. Jake Smith says, got to visit a friend that I haven't seen in a while. We were catching up with the Pittsburgh Steelers game, but it was nice to catch up as a friend. Snaps to you for catching up with your friend. That's always nice to just be able to reconnect in whatever way, whatever you guys bond over, whether it's really gory horror movies or sports games or video games or whatever. I think it's really important to stay connected to our friends. David says, very important if you go off meds, titrate down, suddenly cutting off all at once can be bad with some meds. Thank you very much for making that point. David is absolutely correct. Some meds, especially if you've been on them for some time, can be dangerous. So if nothing else, for me, I just called my doctor and said, I'm not taking these anymore. So I need you to figure something else out. And you do have the right to stand up for yourself with the doctor, but I'm very glad you said that, David, because it can be very dangerous to just cold turkey medications. So if it's a new medication and you're just now starting it and it's causing this, then I advocate to stop taking it. But if it's something you've been taking for a while and you're noticing a weird symptom, call your doctor, follow up with your doctor, and just know that you have the right to stand up for yourself. And you have the right to say, I'm not taking this medication. Let's figure out something else. You do have that right. CP368 Productions says, I blocked my mom's number for 4 hours after she called me 61 times and left 5 voicemails in 5 hours. It was a very peaceful 4 hours. Snaps to you for looking out for yourself. I know that can be a very difficult, uncomfortable thing to do, especially when it comes to close friends or family or people that we are close to, people that we care about, and especially when we're people pleasers, which I'm learning not to be as much. I'm learning to stand up for myself and care for myself, but it's a really hard thing to break, but there's a healthy way to do it. And when someone else is being toxic, you don't have to put up with that. It is very imperative. As I said on my short the other day, it's imperative that we set boundaries and that we stick with those boundaries, that we don't allow people to do things like this and expect that we're going to answer just because they're spam calling us. We are not, let me say this, I will say it twice for the people in the back if I have to. We are not obligated to be by our phones all the time. We are not obligated to answer every call. We are not obligated to answer every text. And if something does happen and we're not by our phone to get that call or text, it is not our fault. If something happens to someone and we just happen to not be by the phone, our mental health matters too. And I try to be as available as I can for people, but I tell the people close to me, my close friends and stuff, I say, look, if you really, really need me, then yes, call several times in a row and I will answer, because all my friends know, don't ever do that unless it's an emergency, unless you really need me, and I will answer. But I'm not going to answer just because someone called, and I'm certainly not going to sit there and constantly watch for my texts. So I'm very proud of you for being able to set that boundary. I'm glad you got the peace in the 4 hours, and I hope that you can continue to have that dialogue with her and say, look, this is not acceptable. This is, and I don't know what your boundaries might look like of what time she can call, or if she calls outside of those times that it can only be during an emergency, but you can actually silence certain phone numbers. I've done that with certain people, that their alerts don't come up if you if they call you or text you. So then you can just look later and see, oh, that person called a bunch, without having to turn your phone off. But yeah, you can also block the number. That's also an option. Well, I'm sorry that you're going through that, though. I know that that's very frustrating. I had an ex-boyfriend that was like that, that was very obsessive. And it sounds like your mom is also needing some mental health support, and I hope that she can get that. I hope she recognizes that and can get that, because she does deserve help, but you also deserve peace. Hey, Goldie. Oh my gosh, Top Brass 88 says, I took a medication. On day 2, I lost use of my arms and hands. I couldn't use my phone to call the doctor. Immediately stopped taking it. Tried to put a shot on with no arms and hands. Oh my gosh, that would be terrifying. That would be so awful. Jonathan says, I haven't been right since my last hospitalization. I was forced activating. I don't understand what that means. I don't like that stuff. Knocks me out 3 days. I don't think I understand. I think I'm misunderstanding something there. So if you elaborate on that, then I will try to respond to that. David Gaps says, I filled my front room with plants, fake and real, and it's helping me cope with my SAD, or seasonal affective disorder. Big snaps to you. I have a couple of plants, and I have more fake ones than real ones because I have a tendency to not be super great. I struggle with being able to keep them alive. I have a little, oh, where'd it go? I did have a little plant here. I think I moved. I've been moving a bunch of stuff, so I guess I didn't realize that I moved my little plant that was there as a little bush. But I moved that. But yeah, just having a little plant on your desk, or a little plant, in your kitchen or something, in your bedroom, can be immensely helpful and can actually really boost your mood, especially if you struggle with SAD. And I'm going to be posting some content about that here in the coming weeks, because I know it's kind of moving into that season. So I want to post some supportive content for people who are struggling with that. I am kind of the reverse, because Arizona, we're stuck inside all summer. And then the winter and fall is where we really thrive. So I'm consulting with some other people to figure out the best content to post for that. But big snaps to you and your plants. Thanks, Goldie. Goldie says, they look so pretty in that shirt. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, goodness, this is the last one. Jib Jimmy says, 1 week clean from self-harm, though I really want to continue. Big snaps to you for your week clean. And I understand that urge. There are still times, I'm over 5 years in recovery from self-harm and cocaine, and there are still times where my urges are through the roof. And one of those times has been, well, not even one of those times, it's been kicking up really bad in the past couple of months from the sleep deprivation and the stress of everything going on. And I am really grateful that I just don't have access to cocaine. But the self-harm those urges have kicked up too. And I know what it's like to want to continue. I honestly had to, I didn't have to, but when I met Mike Schnodt, I had him draw this on my wrist. It's just a little puzzle piece with his initials. It's white, so you probably can't see it. If you can, you can probably barely see it. But I had him draw that just as my reminder. It has several layers and meanings to it, but it was just my reminder that I wanted to move past that. So when I met him, I really wanted to move past those addictions and past those things. So that was my reminder, and I haven't self-harmed since, and I've been completely successful in my recovery with cocaine. But yeah, it can be so hard, especially when situations come up that's normally what we turn to. So I would highly suggest, actually, David, can you find the video that I made quite a while ago about how I stopped self-harming? Because it has some tips in there about what I wish I would have known, or some of the things I did when I was going through it, because it's really important, that you're avoiding situations as much as possible that triggered those urges. But if you can't avoid those situations, that you have replacement things to do. So for me, it was things like holding ice, or writing on my arm, or getting the tattoo, things like that, to act as reminders for myself when my urges were really bad. And there are still some times, I've done it within the last week, where I'm writing up my arm with a Sharpie, usually a lighter Sharpie, so it's not super visible, but sometimes it's just whatever I have around, and I'll just draw hearts or write inspirational messages or something until that urge passes. But I believe that you'll get there. It's still the hardest. I would say the first month or so is the hardest, and once you get past that first month, then it starts becoming easier. But it can absolutely kick up at any time, and it can kick up years later. But the more you have something else to turn to, the easier it is to break that habit. But Tracy, my best friend's in here. I love you. Hi. How are you? I get very excited. She kept me sane the other night when I had something super creepy happen. I just realized I am so sorry that I did not call you back. You probably checking in here just to make sure that I was not murdered. So I wasn't murdered. I'm here. It's kind of funny that you came in though on my puzzle piece tattoo. But yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I love you. Oh goodness. So yeah, Tracy is my childhood best friend. So every now and then she pokes her head in here and hopefully doesn't embarrass me terribly bad. But I was posting over on my social, so I posted on Facebook that I was doing the live, that I changed the time of it. So the whole point is uh-oh, my thing's saying there's no people. Did I just go offline? I think I just totally went offline. Can somebody say something if you can hear me? I don't know what happened. Okay, Mick says I still see you. It says 0 participants, so guess there's just a glitch on YouTube. But what was I saying? I was saying something. So because we moved the stream, I moved the stream because I want as many community members as possible to be able to participate and be here. I just want to help as many people as possible. So make sure that you're also just share the information for this stream if you can on your social media. Probably same day as we do them. So next time this comes up, just give us a share over on Facebook or whatever. I can probably create a little graphic, or one of you can create a graphic to share on other platforms like Instagram and stuff where you have to have pictures. But I just want people to know that they have a safe place to come talk about their mental health, ask questions, share wins, get some insights and stuff, or talk about their struggles. So make sure that you're sharing the channel for people to come over here into the stream and into the community. The stream's a great way to introduce people to, so that they can meet me and they can meet some of you guys and they can see what we do and what we're about. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys could start sharing either the videos. I mean, you can share the videos too. I appreciate that too, but I really want to bring more people here into the stream. Holy Clown Fakaris? Hello. That's a very interesting name. David posted a 4 years sober vlog. Let me see. There was one. I don't think David could find it because it was probably pretty far back. So it's probably pretty hard to find. So let me see if I can grab that real fast for you guys. Just so you have that, because it was, unless YouTube took it down, that would be very sad for me if YouTube took down that video because it touched on self-harm. But I think it's very nice. There we go. I think it's very nice to have just some insights and tips and stuff. I need to go back to doing vlogs on the camera and not the webcam, because I just looked and said, I got it, David. There's the link for it. So that's a How I Quit Self-Harming and You Can Too video. And I made it over 2 years ago now. And yeah, I'm totally missing doing vlogs on that camera instead of the webcam. The webcam just tends to be a little bit more blurry, not as crisp. And I imagine you guys want to see my every pore. Thank you. Nick says, oh, sure, the only thing that scares me, clowns. Clowns are so creepy. Why didn't anyone ever think that those were good ideas for children's events? Let's see. I can't multitask either, David. Oh, Donald says, I'm so sorry. Donald says, Ed, I struggle with my limitations. I hate that I have them. In the past, it has consumed me. I read something from some poet, and what I got from it was that. I think I missed a longer message from Donald. So I apologize for that. Hi, Tyler. I feel like I missed something important. Tim says, yes, we want to see your pores, but you're dancing too. You got to pledge for the dancing, man. I can't give away all the goods. Although my dancing is not going to be anything impressive. My dancing is like a drunk penguin. I don't know. The clown was originally a villain. I don't know where the clowns originated, but I think clown and I think either Billy or John Wayne Gacy. So my mind does not go to anywhere positive. Pogo the clown or Billy the puppet, one or the other. Nick says if you pledge, you get her to dance. I got her to crump once. I still don't know what the hell crumping is, but you did indeed. I had to look it up, but you did indeed. Oh, goodness. Oh, Pennywise. That's right. Yeah, Pennywise. Bryson hates Pennywise. Somebody told him about it like several years ago, and he's been terrified of Pennywise ever since. Oh God, Tracy says, I feel like you could bust out some NSYNC choreo. Oh God. Absolutely not. Maybe. Not my chair. And then I'd have to stand up, and then I'd have to move. I went for a run this morning with Aaron on no sleep. A little bit of sleep, not a lot of sleep. I'm averaging maybe 3 hours a night right now. So it was pretty brutal. Goldie says, I write poetry and I have one published. Yay. Today I found a poem type letter I wrote about myself. I got so emotional. It was written very beautifully and I gave myself credit for the beauty in my writing. Snaps to you for your poem. Also for giving yourself credit for seeing your win. Love it. Thanks, Marlon. Nick says, rather go back to combat than have to see clowns. Yep. Nope. No, thank you. Yeah. Actually, I went to Bryson right now is currently in California because he's going to Disney or Universal, one or both, with his dad. And when I went to Universal back in 2016, and I wanted to go for The Purge. So I got to go to The Purge, and I did. There's like a little Walking Dead walkthrough. I may or may not have done so. I don't remember. And then a clown thing. And the clown thing was so creepy. Like, it was so bad. But I was telling Aaron this story earlier. Funniest thing about it is that I then was on like 30 some odd hours of no sleep. And one of the rides that we were doing to kill time was a Shrek ride. And I had not correlated at the time that Shrek, Lord Farquaad on Shrek is voiced by John Lithgow. Now, no spoilers for Aaron, who has not gotten to this season of Dexter, so please no Dexter spoilers in the chat right now. But John Lithgow voices someone that I'm really terrified of on Dexter. Like, the only thing in all of Dexter that scared me, truly scared and unsettled me. And when you first walk in, there was Lord Farquaad is torturing Gingy and has the 3 little pigs in cages and is talking about torturing us. And you're just in this room. And I couldn't figure out why it was freaking me out so bad until I realized it was voiced by John Lithgow. And I think I was more scared of the Shrek ride than the Purge, Saw, and the clowns. Although the clowns were pretty freaky. There was a couple other areas that I didn't even want to go into. There was one that was Krampus, I think, and I've never seen Krampus. I watched the kill count for it, but I've never seen Krampus, but that just seemed super unsettling. That seemed like a bit much for me. So yeah. Hey, everyone, make sure that you're staying hydrated. Hydration is good. Yes, it absolutely is. Hydration actually can affect your mental health. If you're getting dehydrated, it actually can affect you. Oh, Real Life says, where can I find your poem, Goldie? If you don't mind, yeah, if you want to share it with the community, Goldie, we'd love to read it. Oh, hey, Russell, what's up? Long time no talk. Hope everything is going well. I'm sorry that I'm not on Facebook or social too much. This is the only thing I really do online anymore. I post a little bit over on Instagram, but I'm not really super active on the social, on the medias, the SM. Holy Clown says, hey, I was born this way, homies. I don't want to discriminate. We accept clowns here in the community too, right, guys? I mean, actually, I guess we should. We might have a couple juggalos here in the community, so that is fine. If you're a juggalo or you're a friendly clown, then we welcome you here. I guess we should probably welcome Billy too, because I don't want to exclude the geriatric cancer patient and make him think that I hate his very wonderful, adorable puppet thing. Am I the only one that's seen Saw that looks at that thing and goes, "You are creating that for your child? What is wrong with you?" I mean, that probably goes deeper than obviously the surface, but it's just before you became Jigsaw, before you broke bad, I guess, before you got pushed in that direction, you were building this thing for your child. Why did you think that was a good idea? I know you're old and probably senile, but Jesus tap dancing Christ on a cracker. No, please, no. Don't ever get your child any variation of a puppet or a clown, or make any variation of a puppet or a clown for your kid. Ooh, Holy Clown says clowns were originally death jesters in Roman times and before. Very interesting. That is super interesting. Edward S says, okay, there's a conversation going on that I don't think I was totally caught up on. So Roberto says, I used to do children's shows dressed up as a clown, and what I did to make the children not afraid was put on my makeup in front of them, and that helped a lot. That's brilliant, actually. Yeah, that's smart. That's super cool, actually. That makes sense. Oh, Donald says ICP stuff now. I don't think I'll be reacting to any ICP. I know one ICP song. It's because I used to know. Well, actually, one of my best friends is a juggalo, but she didn't introduce me to it. Tracy, are you still in here? It was Roy, yeah, that was obsessed with ICP and introduced me to the song. So me and Tracy, when we were youngins, we fought over this guy on the internet because we both met the same guy on the internet, and we were fighting over him and almost broke up our friendship over it. And he listened to ICP, so that was the only reason I ever listened to ICP, was this one song. And oh my god. What were we thinking? Oh my god, what were we thinking? That was one of the times that I really look back and go, wow, Amanda, wow. Tracy, actually, if you're okay, you should tell that one scary story about why we shouldn't meet people on the internet here in the chat. I will read it if you want to narrate it. I don't want to go into anything too personal if you don't want to, but I think you should share that, because I think that could really be an eye-opener for some people. No, Edward, it was not you. Donald says it's wild stuff. Your reaction is appropriate. I actually have a lot of respect for ICP, because I know that as individuals, they do a lot of outreach and charity work. So I have a lot of respect for them in that regard. Their music just isn't really my cup of tea. I don't resonate with those types of songs or that type of music. But I have a lot of respect for them as individuals, as I've read quite a bit about some of the outreach and stuff they do and how much they care about their fans and community. That's awesome. If that's what you resonate with, then more power to you. Goldie says the poetry book is Poems Across America. I don't even have the book any longer myself. I can't find it. The book is called The Lost Sailor. Is it not online anywhere? Okay, so here's Tracy's story. So at like 13 or 14 years old, I talked for a long time with a guy who was supposed to be 18, phone and everything. We finally decided to meet. My parents went and he didn't show up. We called this number. Dun, dun, dun. ... Yeah, just don't. I think that it's interesting that when we were younger, when Tracy and I were younger, meeting people online was not an encouraged thing. That wasn't something that was acceptable even for older people. And you're not the only one, Tracy, that's had terrible experiences with this. But nowadays it's just, we talked for 5 minutes on a dating app. Let's go hook up. What? A woman answered and informed us he was a middle-aged boarder in her home and had tons of young girls calling him. Real life child predator. So this is my best friend who could have died because of this situation. So if you are going to meet someone, please meet them in public. Meet them in public several times. Do not go home with them first night. Do not go home with them second, third night. Now I'm not even going into the ethical situation. That's none of my business. But for the love of God, don't go home with somebody you just met at a Chili's for an hour. It's just, I understand we're kind of in the uh, time of dating apps and social media and stuff. Please be safe. Please meet in a public place. Let somebody know where you're going. Make sure that you have, check-ins or something. If you are younger, please, or even if you're not, if you feel comfortable, going on a group date or something at first, that is totally acceptable. That's totally okay. So please feel free to do that. Please feel free to, or don't feel free. I demand that you stay safe when you are meeting people. And Aaron and I were talking, tell me if you guys would be interested in this, about doing a video about online dating, just because, especially with dating profiles, especially with men on dating profiles, I've noticed that it really can be a huge mental health topic, because let me say that I have guy friends that are male models. I have guy friends that are incredibly wealthy, and even they really struggled to get dates with people on dating apps because they'd get stood up and stuff, or whatever the case was. It just never worked out. And I was thinking about Aaron was talking about potentially making a video about that with me, because he had talked about his experience with that. And I know I've talked to several people here in the community that had similar experiences, and it really starts to jack your self-esteem after a while, where you think, man, something's wrong with me because nobody is matching on my dating profiles. It's just like social media. It's just a really shoddy algorithm that is not in favor of guys. Like, girls will get hundreds of requests, but it can really be a challenge for the most attractive, wealthy, well-off, interesting people. It has nothing to do with you, but we were thinking about making a video about that. Okay. David, thank you for that. David says, from Matt SCFC. Hi, Amanda. I'm new here. I've suffered with mental issues for the last 5 years. What was the first thing you felt or realized you needed to reach out and seek the help you needed? Unfortunately for me, well, let's go way back. I was going to say, unfortunately for me, it took me kind of being on the ledge to really start. Thank you very much for that, David, and for bringing that to my attention. I'm debating whether or not to go back to when I first started having mental challenges, or when I realized I got to do something, and that was the suicide attempt in Canada on the ledge. You know what? I think we're going to start there. So I can touch back if I need. So when I was on the ledge and that song came on and it brought me down, I just realized, okay, I felt like I tried everything, but there's always a different way to try something. Sometimes you have to try things again. And I wasn't living a life conducive to mental health. So I am on the ledge in a foreign hotel room, ready to end my life, because I just can't handle things anymore. It's just too much. And I'd been in therapy. That wasn't helping. And I ended up, part of what really helped me was I reached out to Diamond Dallas Page, who is a mentor of mine, and was telling him how I felt and what was going on. Maybe not in deep detail. He didn't know that I was suicidal, but I was saying that I was really struggling with depression and stuff. And he said, you did this to yourself, buddy. It's on you to undo it. And I was so mad. Like, I threw my phone at the wall and shattered my phone because I was so mad. Because I said, how dare you tell me that my mental health and my depression is my fault? Because I didn't do this to myself. And he's right. I didn't. Or I was right. I didn't. But he was also right in the fact that I was not making positive choices that were conducive to my mental health. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to be doing for optimal mental health, which is what I outline in my happiness boost courses, the things that I did to go from being at that place to being pretty darn happy, like being in a pretty good place despite the insomnia right now and the things that are going on. I'm not perfect. I still have hard times as well, but I can see the positive on the day-to-day despite the insomnia. I can still reach toward my goals despite that. And it's causing some pretty severe mental health backlashes, but I'm still trying my best and I'm still trying different things. And I just always say, if one thing doesn't work, try something else, try a different way, just keep trying. But for me, it was really, I think you can gauge whether or not you need help or you need to change something on how you feel when you wake up in the morning. If you get up and you go, you know what? I have some challenges in my day, but I'm going to look at this like a video game where I might have to kill some monsters. I might have to talk to some townspeople. I might have to collect some items, but I'm going to look at this like a challenge. As opposed to getting up and going, oh my effing God, I can't do this right now. And that's kind of how I've been feeling as I just wake up and go, oh, I just need sleep. I need to stay here. But then once I get up and get going and get into my routine, I can usually pull myself for the most part out of it. But I think how you feel when you wake up, that dictates a lot. Are you excited for the day, even if it's going to be challenging, or are you dreading it? That to me was a huge indicator of where I was mentally, and was actually a huge indicator through my journey, because when I woke up in the morning, that was kind of the first thing that made me realize that I was making a lot of progress. Was I woke up and I was excited and I went, wow, this is awesome. Because I'd always had that waking up going, blah, and sometimes crying in my bed because I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do another day. I think that's pretty indicative of whether or not something deeper is going on and you need to reach out. And I'm happy you're here. I'm happy that you are taking that first step. You're reaching out to us, but I hope that you get the support that you need from us, from professionals if you need it, from whatever sources bring you that peace and that healing. Thank you, David, for bringing that to my attention. Tim says, so needed to hear that. I'm not sure which part, but I'm glad. And David says, Matt, you're not alone. Your question's valuable to a lot of people. It is. And we think that it's obvious, that, well, if you're feeling depressed, then obviously you need to see someone. But sometimes that can be kind of difficult to define, well, what's depression? What is bad enough for me to seek help? If you're asking whether or not you need to seek help, chances are it's probably going to be beneficial to you. And think about it this way. The worst thing that can happen is you seek help and they go, you know what? I think that you just need to make a couple changes. I think that we just need to talk a little bit. There's just something we need to get through, and you don't need it for very long. Or maybe it's not a issue of seeing a professional at all. You don't know. But if you go, nothing bad's going to happen from going and talking to someone. You might not connect with that therapist. You might have to switch therapists or professionals in case if you need a psychiatrist, but you might have to switch that professional, but there's nothing wrong with reaching out. And for the most part, nothing bad's going to happen. Worst case, nothing good happens from that particular professional, but nothing bad's going to happen. So we're at 36 for our goal of 250, and I'm staying here later, and now it's later at night, and I think I smell dinner, so I'm still staying here for you guys, but I'm hungry, and I need my tea. I need my nighttime tea. Oh, and I have to go do the saw cats, so I do dog sitting, dog boarding, drop-in, stuff like that as my day job. And I've been getting a lot of cat requests lately. And this woman, like this new client, sends me a request and I accepted it. And she ends up sending me 6 really long text messages of what to do for the cats. And there were 3 keys, and she literally drew me a map of her house, and it was kind of adorable. But me and Aaron had just watched this, and oh my God, is this a trap or what? Like, is this some kind of jigsaw trap? Because this is insane. So now I've been referring to them as the saw cats. And fun story. Oh, good night, Ryan. I haven't seen you in here. I think you were just hiding in the shadows, but good night. Oh, are you broken here? Aaron was saying hello. That was kind of creepy. Hi, Christy. So if you want to hear, Amanda wants us to mail her cats. What? No, do not mail me cats. This isn't some creepy ass stalker movie. But what was I going to say? Oh, I was at this house the other day. I see a couple messages I'm going to get to. I was at this house the other day, and we just watched, I don't even know which Saw, but we watched one of the Saw movies. So I'm kind of having that Tetris effect of after you watch a movie, your brain is still kind of in it. After you play a game, your brain's still kind of in it a little bit. So I wasn't super scared or anything, but I was just a little unsettled. And I call, oh no, that wasn't the night I called Tracy. So I go over there and the lights are all off. That's kind of weird. There was one light there was two hallways, and the right side hallway, the cat over there had the light on, but I had to get to the cat has its own room. I had to get to the cat's room on the left to feed him and everything. So I think, okay, I'm kind of feeling a little uneasy right now, but all right. And I'm feeling around for the light switch and everything. Finally get the light switch on, walk into the little adjacent bathroom, which I hadn't got into because I see the shower curtains closed. I'm going, oh my God, there's a pig, like masked person hiding behind that shower curtain. I just know it. So go and I peek behind the shower curtain. Of course, there's nothing there. And I turn around, and I hadn't seen this prior. I'd been in the house several times and I hadn't seen this prior because I just hadn't went down the hallway at that angle. Freaking ghost face, like full floor, I mean, like 6-foot ghost face door decal with the bloody knife and everything. And I screamed, scared the cat, freaked out. And I'm not even scared of Scream. Doesn't matter, I wasn't even really scared of Saw. I was just kind of in that hyper vigilant mode. And it was so bad. Cool. I think I go there and I was going, oh my God. But I just thought you guys might like laugh. Let's see. You're welcome, Matt. Let's see. David says, another Matt SC FC84 post. I was told I was faking it and then I needed to get a grip. A lot of people are accused of things like that, and it's just from ignorant people that don't understand. A lot of us are told things like that. It's just people that don't understand and are going through their own process. And sometimes it can be that scares them because they go, oh, wow, that's possible. I could end up freaking out like that. I could be in a bad place like that. And they don't want to admit that it's possible. They don't want to admit that it's real, right? So they can shut off that possibility even in other people and try to shut it down. But a lot of us are told that, and it's not true. And you know whether or not you're being authentic. And getting a grip looks like getting therapy. Getting a grip looks like taking care of yourself. Getting a grip isn't just saying, oh, well, all my problems are in my head and that makes them less real. And I'm just happy now. I'm just going to turn on the switch and I'm just going to be happy now. Nobody can do that. That's not how it works. I don't understand what people think getting a grip means. That if you just, oh, well, if I just see that my problems aren't really that bad, then they'll just go away, right? Like, it's not how it works. That is not how it works. Yes, Top Brass, I do exercise as part of my routine. I try and do yoga in the morning, not a lot, just a little bit of yoga to kind of stretch in the morning. And Aaron and I have been trying to incorporate running. So it really makes a difference. It's actually one of the 5 puzzle pieces of happiness in my happiness boost course because it's so important. And it doesn't even have to be going to the gym or doing some kind of a circuit or a intense workout. It can be going for a walk. It can be hitting a punching bag. It can be yoga. There's a really cute Zumba guy on YouTube. It can be doing little Zumba classes with him. I look like an idiot doing Zumba. It's so bad. I look so bad doing Zumba, but it's fun. It's so much fun. It's just moving. There was a 90s one on there. So if you just look up cute guy 90s Zumba for any girls in here, you'll probably find that video, and it had in sync and stuff. So I was very hyped. So that's one of my go-to workouts as well. Jay Haynes says, I was raised by 2 parents who were narcissistic and sexually abusive to me. My sister and I had 2 suicidal attempts. It's a fight. Just keep fighting. You're loved. You're loved too. And I'm sorry that you did not get the love you deserved from the people that should have been there to give it to you. And I hope that you have since found that love. And I hope that you feel our love and that you can keep connecting to that because you absolutely deserve it. You never deserved that treatment. You never deserved to be treated like that. And neither did your sister, but I'm glad that you survived. And I'm glad that you see now that you just have to keep fighting and you can fight past that. And I always look at it like superheroes had tragic backstories too. And we can use those tragedies to fuel us to be superheroes, or we can use those tragedies to become our own villain, like to become a villain in our own head. So it's really our choice of how we use tragedies in our narrative, in our story, because we are writing our story and those parts were out of our control. Those parts were written out of our control, but the next chapter is not. The next chapter is very much in our control. Oh, Mick. Mick says, how do you mail a cat? Thank you, Mick, for your pledge. You know, that's something that's probably somewhere. Actually, there was a movie. What was it? There was a movie where she got a cat in the mail. It was an Antonio Banderas movie. I think it was a movie about dissociative identity disorder, maybe. I think. I don't remember. Back then it was split personality, but now it's dissociative identity disorder. I think that's what the movie was about, but I'm pretty sure she got a cat in the mail, if I remember correctly. I only saw it once a very long time ago, but Billy! Hi, Billy! Billy is also a good friend of mine. I miss you. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in forever. I feel like I need to catch up with you again. Oh my goodness, I just realized it's actually been a couple of Halloweens because remember we have that picture of us next to the big pumpkin. So hello, I'm happy to have you here. Et on doit parler un peu de français très bientôt. Edward says I already answered Mick's question. I don't want to look. I'm not going to look up there. Nope, no thank you. Puss in Boots, not Puss in Boots. Hi, AQ. Matt says, I spent 5 years or so without having a job. One day in January, I thought I need to sort myself out, get out there, and get a job. I now work full-time on nights, and I'm really loving it. I'm happy for you. I'm happy you found that. Snaps to you. I'm not off this week because I turned 39 on Tuesday. Getting closer to the big 4-0. AQ says depression is kicking my butt at the moment. Well, we're still here for a few more minutes if you want to talk about what is going on, AQ. Bien sûr, merci beaucoup. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de personnes ici avec lesquelles on peut parler. C'est triste, c'est un peu triste, mais j'ai mon fils, j'ai Preston, il parle mieux que moi maintenant, mais Goldie, David says, responding to Goldie says, I'm 46 now. I look back at old pics and cringe. At least you didn't wear half the clothes that boy bands were wearing in the 90s. Those are always super cringe. The chimp is in the tree. Le singe est sur la branche. Mixes, why does French turn me on and make me mad at the same time? Poor Billy. So Billy has a British accent and speaks French, so he's just gonna have all the ladies. All the ladies. Steve says no habla francés. No, that's kind of funny that it turns you on and makes you mad at the same time. I feel like it's Spanish, Italian, and German all got together and had a baby. And you have the romantic part from Spanish and Italian, but then you have the angry part from German. It's all just rolled in there. Edward says, Donald, my first one toward overcoming anxiety was to 100% eliminate booze. You know, I am not 100%, but I'm pretty close. I haven't been drinking a lot. I think I've had 1 glass of wine in the past several weeks. So I haven't been drinking a lot, and it does make a huge difference. Wait, is Billy Wade the wet pan on the beach story? No, David, that was a different British individual. His name was Phil. I met him when I was in Hawaii. So David is talking about this time that I was in Hawaii, and I had met this British guy, and we were walking along the beach, and the waves were splashing up and hitting my pants. And I said, oh my gosh, my pants are wet. And he just looked at me and said, what? I said, my pants are wet. And I point down to my pants. I said, the waves are splashing, my pants are wet. And he said, oh, that's right. You call the knickers pants here. I said, yeah. He said, pants are underwear over there. And I said, oh. So he got kind of excited for a second. I'll never forget that. That guy was awesome. I hope he's doing well. Je souhaite. C'est vrai, mon pote. On vient de parler de ça, en fait. We were just talking about this, right? Oh, Matt's also British. Matt says alcohol's fine in moderation. Yeah, we call it underwear pants. So I will say alcohol is fine in moderation so long as you're in a good place. If you're depressed, you should not be drinking alcohol. If you're in a place where you're really struggling with your mental health, I very much advocate going 100% off of it until you start to come out of that, because it's depressant. So it's not going to do anything helpful. But yeah, I don't inherently have an issue with alcohol. I just think that number one, it's used as a crutch to not deal with our very real human emotions, so we don't process things. And I fell into it too. I posted the vlog not too long ago about how I went back to drinking, even though my goal was to not drink for 2023. I went back to it, and I've been doing pretty well with reeling it back and stuff, but it's still a challenge. And I admit that. I fully admit that. So I'm going to stay here about another 10 minutes. If anybody has any other questions or wins or struggles that they want to talk about more, please get those in. If you have any other pledges that you want to get in, so we can try and meet. We're at 56, but we had the goal of 256. So we'll see if we can have a little mini miracle, because I want to be able to help those people that I was talking about earlier, the elderly individuals and the people here in the community that are needing help with some supplements and stuff. I want to be able to help those people in the next couple of weeks. So that's where the pledges are going. Roberto says, I gave up drinking because of the hangover. Man, hangovers get worse with age too. What kind of crappery is that? That's like God's little punchline there, where life gets more stressful, but hangovers get worse. Oh, Frosty, thank you. Frosty says, I don't watch the channel often, but I enjoy your reaction videos. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you come here whenever you are feeling called to do so. Don't feel like you have to watch every video, like whatever resonates with you. I have channels that I only watch specific video things that they do, but thank you so much. Toi aussi, Billy. Au revoir. Bisous. Edward says, please send love, thoughts, prayers, whatever you do to our friends and community members in Israel during this horrific time in their beautiful country. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I know we have several community members who are over there. And David, I did see your update text, but I haven't got to read it yet because I was jumping on the stream in regards to our one community member that I saw that he's safe and his family's safe. But yes, it's very sad, very challenging to be in that, to know people in that, to try to figure out how to stay safe, the next steps. And I do hope that all of you that are over there are finding safety, that you're able to get out if that's a possibility, or that you're at least able to stay safe until the war passes or until you can get to somewhere else. I think it's sad. Israel is a very beautiful country. There's a lot of history there, a lot of very rich history, a lot of religious history and stuff. So I hope that all of you are safe and that you can keep your spirits up, and we will be here in the community to love and support you through this time. And I just hope that it ends quickly. I know that that's very rarely the case with things like that, but we can hope. Thank you. You have to tell me how to see your name. Is it Akoi, Osoi? I don't know, but thank you so much. Hey, let's get closer to our goals together. Sending love. Thank you. And yes, we all have to be here for each other for our goals. I just had to do math in my head because it doesn't calculate these, so I have to calculate it on my own. So I'm sitting here just writing this here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okoe. Okay, Okoe. Thank you. I'm terrible about names, and I'll try really hard to remember that. We have a couple of individuals who have been here in the community for over a year that I still know I butchered their names. I mean, well, I love you. I'm just not always great with pronunciations, but Okoe, that's beautiful. I love it. David said, David said, math hurts my head. Yeah, math is not my strong suit. Oh, somebody had said no kitty ears, and David was saying, yeah, I only have them for reactions. Yep. Because this isn't audio, so so I don't have to wear the cat ears. I mean, I can wear them for a second just so you can recognize me. That sounds weird because now I hear myself echoing. But yeah, I'll have to show you guys my art project. I was doing a little hocus pocus sign, so I'll have to show you guys that over on the community page once I finish it up. I'm very excited about that. And yeah. TikTok obsessor says, hi, I've been struggling the past 2 days. A couple days ago, I tried to kill myself. Well, I'm glad that you're still here. If you want to let us know what's going on, like I said, I'll be here for a few more minutes. Otherwise, you can email me. My email is always in my video descriptions, and I don't always respond. I can't usually respond immediately, but I'll respond as soon as I can, or you can share here in the video comments. Again, I don't always respond immediately, but I respond as quick as I can. I look at every comment. I read every single comment. I read every single email, every Instagram message. So just let us know what's going on, and we'll try to be here to support you. Oh, Matt says, what song helps you through the tough times, Amanda? That's a good question. So there's several of them, and it depends on what I'm having a hard time about. So it really depends on what's on my mind, what I'm struggling through. Because sometimes it's right now, the new NSYNC song, Better Place, the new NSYNC song that I did a reaction to, man, I've probably heard that song a million times now. And it just came out last Friday. But going back to that time, listening to some of the NSYNC music from the 90s really helps. Breaking the Habit by Linkin Park, obviously, because that's the one that got me off the ledge. It depends on if I'm in a validating mood where I need that emotion validated, or if I'm in I'm just feeling kind of that funk and I want to get out of it. It really depends. I'm trying to think. If I'm wanting to feel validated, the other day I was listening to Untitled by Simple Plan. That one really helps, just because it's kind of that, how did I get in this situation? Why is this happening to me? And I don't like to think of things happening to me. I like to think of them happening for me. But sometimes things are just so awful that I can't find the silver lining of it. And I had that moment last Wednesday. And so I was listening to that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of Crawling by Linkin Park is another song I turn to pretty frequently. But there's a lot of uplifting songs as well that I really love. Actually, Mike Shinoda had come out with an album called Post Traumatic after Chester passed, and I met him because I went to the record release party for that album, right? And there's a song called Crossing Line, and that song immensely helped me. Actually, that was the song that really was very helpful in my early days of my recovery and stuff. Because when I met Mike, as I said earlier, that was my first day in recovery. I got my little puzzle piece tattoo and that he drew on there, and that was my first day in recovery. And that song really helped me through the early days. So if you have not checked that out, make sure to check that out. Oh, dog, I'm glad you didn't miss the stream. Hello. Okay, TikTok says, I've always been a victim of cyberbullying, and a person told me to hurt myself, so I tried ending my life. There are always going to be, I'm just going to say it, shit people in this world. There are always going to be people that say nasty things to you, that bully you. I've had bullies. I have haters on here. I have people that tell me all the time, you should have jumped. You shouldn't be here. I get that probably at least once a week. You can't listen to these people. You can't let your worth depend on other people, because you are worthy and you're amazing, and you can't listen to these people, because hurt people hurt people. These people are saying those nasty things because they don't know how to deal with their own hurt. So they're projecting that onto other people, thinking, well, if I have to suffer, you have to suffer. And I want you to be just as miserable as I am. And when we can say, hey, and that's how I respond to my haters is, I can see that you're hurting and I'm really sorry. I hope that you find a channel that resonates with you. I hope that you find healing from whatever it is you're going through, because these people are trying to tear you down. And I don't know if you can see my sign, but no lite te bastardes carborundorum, which means don't let the bastards grind you down. And if you have to put that sign on your wall, put that sign on your wall, but do not let the bastards grind you down, because they will. And there's always going to be more of them. And if you need to take some time away from social media, take some time away from social media, take some time away from the internet till you can build up your self-esteem again, until you can see your worth again. And then you can start going on there, because social media is a cesspool for all of us at some point, of people that are saying you're worthless, you're trash, you don't deserve to be here, you're stupid, you're whatever. And if it is bad like that, report it. Absolutely report it. Report it to the authorities. Report it to whatever social media platform you were on, TikTok or whatever. Make sure you're reporting that, because it's not okay. And you really deserve happiness. You deserve better than that. Don't listen to the haters. It's just a couple more minutes. Yeah, Donna says happiness is not up to anyone but you. Others can share in it. The Serenity Prayer has a lot to it. Yeah, I'm not a believer, but I do really like the Serenity Prayer. But yeah, happiness isn't really up to anyone else. How we respond or react, because there's a big difference. Reacting is impulsive. It's kind of involuntary. Responding is when we've taken some time to calm down and whatnot. And then we turn around and we formulate a well thought out plan of action, either for ourselves or our response to someone else. That's a huge thing to practice, but it is completely up to us whether or not we let other people affect us. I got this from my time when I was pagan, but I think it's still helpful. Sometimes if I know I'm going to have to deal with a toxic person or somebody that is just going to make me feel uncomfortable or anxious, I literally will put like an imaginary shield around myself. And you can just do this and imagine, this glowing light around you that's protecting you from those people, because you have to have your own shields up. You have to create your own shields. Even if you have to go get a little shield necklace or something, put up your shields. Edward says, TikTok for me, I leave that app completely. Social media is almost 100% a waste. Aside from this, some fitness info, I'm totally off and feel great about it. I actually completely agree with Edward. I had a TikTok for maybe 3 days and thought it was the absolute most toxic thing I've ever engaged in. I hated it. It was affecting my mental health within literally hours of being on it. It was wrecking my mental health. So please, I encourage you to at least take some time off from it until you can kind of recalibrate and do some healing and stuff. Yeah, Donald says never act on emotion. The outcomes are near opposite. So we did raise $102 here today for the outreach. Thank you guys very much. Even if we don't reach the goals, I still appreciate it. And every bit helps the community and helps me be able to do more of that outreach and stuff. I'm very excited to share with you guys during the next stream what we have done. So David says that explains those weird gestures you were doing whenever I'm around. Yeah, I'm weird. Weird definitely describes me. Oh, Doug says I actually quit Facebook recently. Way too toxic. No thanks. I'm done with that. Actually, also, I don't know what TikTok has because I don't have one. But for Facebook and YouTube, you can actually download a browser extension that blocks the feed so you don't see. This is really helpful on Facebook, so you don't see people's feed. That way, I go on there, I check my messages, I check my comments and stuff. I don't have to see other people's profiles. It's great. I think they have something similar for Instagram, but I haven't. I found it once and now haven't found it again, so I don't know if it just got taken down or what. Oh, TikTok says I also struggle with people making fun of me because I'm a transgender and gay male. Well, we accept you here. There are a lot. I don't know, but there's a lot. But I know of quite a few transgender and gay or lesbians here in the community, and we totally accept you and love you. So, again, don't let the best church grind you down. There's always going to be people that aren't going to accept you, and that's their loss. We love you and we see your value. So you are absolutely welcome here. Edwards has had a great Winfield week. Everyone try something new this week. Challenge yourself. You all rock. Hope to hear a ton of wins next week. I do too. I love hearing the wins. I'm very excited for Tuesday, finally getting some projects taken care of and stuff, and getting to go see the new Saw movie. So I have something to look forward to. Man, I hope they don't completely wreck it, because the last two were pretty bad. I actually didn't even watch Spiral, and I don't intend to. I watched the kill count for it, and that's enough for me. I wish I wouldn't have watched 8 either, but have high hopes. And luckily enough, it was over at the little $5 theater, so I'm very grateful that I get to treat myself and get a little into the holiday spirit. Donald says, I quit Facebook, my life got better. I actually made a vlog a while back, David, if you want to post it. I made a vlog a while back about how I got off Facebook for 30 days, because at the time Facebook was the one I was really struggling with, and the difference it made, and some of the suggestions I have for combating social media. But don't listen to those people. It doesn't matter if you're gay. It doesn't matter if you're trans. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a person of color. Whatever the case is, people will find reasons to talk crap if they want to talk crap. Again, it's their own insecurities. I just made a short about this. What they say has nothing to do with you. What people say about you has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with their own insecurities. So set your boundaries, believe in yourself. And I know it sounds cliche, but you have to build up your own self-esteem so you can create that shield, so everyone's opinions aren't destroying you. Because, man, if I listened to every person that said nasty things, I honestly probably would have lost my battle a long time ago too, because there's always going to be more hateful, nasty, cruel people. And you just have to say, no, I'm not going to let that get to me. Because think about it. If you let that get to you, then you're letting them win, and they don't deserve it. They don't deserve the win. They need to go make their own wins. Thank you, David. So yes, guys, I'm going to go work more on my art project. I've been loving doing that. Maybe go have a fire or something, and I will send pictures, let you know what I think of the movie next time I am on here. And like Edward, I can't wait to hear your wins and share mine. I love you guys so much. And hopefully I get some sleep. I'll see you soon.